Is the Dyson 360 Vis Nav peak Dyson? Because can it get any more decadent than this guy? Because it was introduced globally in late 2023. So Dyson had a 8-year gap between their first RoboVacuum and the Dyson 360 Vis Nav because honestly, their first RoboVacuum just wasn't very good. And what happened with this? Well, it was supposed to come out in 2023, but it didn't come out in America because they had so many issues with the European launch and the Asia launch, because the delay was necessitated by crucial updates to the companion app, the Dyson app, which was aimed at reducing battery drain, because that was an initial problem, and it had to make improvements to the navigation algorithm so that it can enhance its ability to reliably return back to its docking station, something that is still pretty hard for your Robovac to do. Now, despite Dyson's commitment to continual updates to rectify all of these problems, you'll find that many of the vacuum's problems are fundamentally rooted in its design and just what they did with it. Because you're saying it looks cool, but like a Hummer, it might look cool, but doesn't mean it's a better car. Does that mean this is a better RoboVacuum? So Dyson ultimately copied the iRobot S9 with that edge-to-edge roller. The iRobot's coming with that full patented silicone brush roll, and it's coming with that corner brush, something you do not get with your Vis Nav Dyson. So now let's go through my top 10 issues with the Dyson Vis Nav. So issue number 1 is going to be design. The design of the Dyson 360 Vis Nav is very polarizing because some people like the color, some people don't like the size, and some people are like, why does it have to have all those cyclones? But the design is understandably polarizing because it's Dyson. They want to get attention. It's a flashy robot vacuum. Another criticism with the Dyson Vis Nav is that it is just too heavy because like your car, if the car is really heavy, it's going to use more fuel. This is really heavy. They put a lot of these heavy duty components in here, which means this is very heavy for its size and power. So that ratio also determines how efficient it is in terms of its energy. And that means I wish they made this a little lighter because they could have improved battery life just by dropping maybe an extra pound or 2 off this unit. Other issues with the design is that the air filters have been updated, and this is a really cool feature. You just pop it, and you can pop out those air filters for easy access. But now that you have these really cool air filters, you have to buy and replace these air filters as well. And Dyson air purifying filters are not cheap. So these little HEPA filters on your Vis Nav get saturated very quickly if you're operating your unit every day. So you might have to replace this every 3 to 6 months. But how much would one of these cost? About $30 to $40. So let's talk about number 2, mapping and pathing. So Dyson is a very clever company, so they are not going to use those conventional row by row cleaning grids that we're all used to. They're not going to do the corner cleaning algos that are most common on almost every RoboVacuum I've tried. Now the Dyson 360 Vis Nav uses something called simultaneous localization and mapping, SLAM. Now that creates a dust map of your home, and that's a 360-degree vision system with a fisheye hemispheric lens that you see here that remembers where it's been and where to clean. So it kind of has a memory, it kind of is acting like a brain, and it uses that 360-degree camera because it's not using LiDAR. And LiDAR uses laser sensors for precise distance measurements and is used for detailed 3D mapping and object detection. You really start seeing this in autonomous cars like EVs and Teslas. Now, if we talk about overall battery life, what good is a great RoboVacuum if the battery dies before it can finish its session? The Vis Nav uses a 12-cell battery, and like the Dyson V15 and other stick vacs, that 12-cell battery on max mode is only going to last you about 7 minutes and should not be used as often because it degrades the battery very quickly. That is the case on all of these Dysons behind me, including the Vis Nav. So the Vis Nav can last about 35 minutes on normal mode, but it lasts only 7-8 minutes on max mode. So that's an 80% decrease in battery life when you put it on max. So you're basically not going to use max a lot because it might just finish like a 10 by 10 square, like a 10 by 10 foot square, and have to come back for recharging. All right, so let's talk about mopping here because I got all these RoboVacs here, and I'm going to explain to you what the situation is with mopping in 2024. This is a Dreamebot X30, and this came out in 2023. What the secret here is that this can not only spin, so that means these are spinning, these are gonna be able to come up and down, so they can move up and down 1/2 inch, which is crazy. They can apply varying levels of pressure, but But the coolest thing about mopping on a RoboVacuum is not limited to the unit. It is actually going to be more focused on the base. So this is a charging cradle for your Dyson. It's a simple 2-part unit, and the cradle is relatively just a charging base. So the robot vacuum is going to find it and detect it, and that's why they added this attachment, because your RoboVacuum, because of those cameras, needs these pointers, right? These pointers in order to properly locate this, which is a charging base. But there's a huge difference between this and this. This is the base on a Dreamebot X30. So if you look at this, this is gonna have a dirty water tank, a clean water tank. You can pop it out and then you have direct access to the self-empty bin. It even comes with a solution filter. So this is gonna automatically regulate how much solution it's using for mopping. And these guys are now coming with pop-out trays that you can wash easily, hot water washing, hot air drying, the ability to remove the pads. It's gonna be able to time, and they're extremely quiet because they reduce the amount of noise and increase the amount of insulation inside of these base stations. And the base stations are as big as a part of a RoboVacuum experience as the RoboVacuum now. This is almost like the brains of your unit. So how can you compare this to that? How can you compare this to even a self-empty bin from iRobot? There is going to be a difference between a front-facing camera you get on a J7 or a J9 from iRobot, or if you're getting on the most premium systems, they also come with the front with AI navigation and AI detection. So they're kind of like detecting what's in front of it and then comparing it internally to a number of pictures that correspond to a table or a chair or furniture in general. And because the Dyson is using 2 forward-facing TOF cameras on both sides of the brush roll that you see here, it is going to do an okay job, actually a very good job, avoiding and not getting too close and bumping into your walls. I'm not saying it's not going to bump, but it's going to do a good job not bumping. Now, there's a problem with that, because if you're using this, and this is completely dependent on the visual, this lens here can get scratched. And if this gets scratched, it's not going to work properly. And the issue is also, this unit is pretty tall. So as this goes under your sofa, your nightstand, your tables, this can get scratched because the honest solution that Dyson 360 Vis Nav has for most things is just to overpower it and jump up. So it's going to push itself, and I see that people are getting their lens scratched, so you want to be sure to protect this somehow. Number 6, maintenance. Well, how much does it cost to operate your Dyson in the long run? How easy is it to clean? Well, and how good is the after service or the warranty care? So good news is that Dyson service is pretty okay. But bad news is that as of 2024, my average wait time, just in general, because we check these things, has been over 72 hours. And sometimes, being totally honest, I don't get a response back from customer service if I email them. So they have to really improve their response times and make it easier for us, their consumers, to contact them if we have any issues with this Dyson. Because this Dyson is an issue machine. Number 7 is going to be that this Dyson does not come with any side brushes. So you'll notice that there are no side brushes here. And every other RoboVacuum, from the best to the worst, all come with side brushes. Some come with 2. Why is that? Is that the Dyson wants to have a completely clean experience and put the sensors here. You could have a side brush like you have on the iRobot S9 Plus, but Dyson opted for sensors. And I think that's a pretty big mistake, because how else do you get to your edges? How else do you get underneath recessed corners? There is no way. The Dyson really is betting that it can swing into those corners. But another thing that they didn't notice or they don't care about is that look at the gap between the roller and the front of your unit. There is always going to be about a ½ inch between the roller and the wall. So if you want to get something that can really clean right up to your baseboards, this is not it. Also, don't understand why Dyson didn't add the side brush roll, because you can't do areas that are recessed like under your kitchen cabinets easily with your Dyson. It just doesn't do it, so you have to do it manually. And if you have walls that are zigzagged or angles, you'll find that the mapping, because of this layout here, is just not very good at properly mapping your home, which is another feature of why this required or needs LiDAR, because it can't just count on its eyes. It really needs a sixth sense here. So number 8 is that the Dyson Vis Nav comes with a lot of cool features, but a lot of them are just gimmicks. Well, number 1, I think Dyson went a little bit overboard on this LED display. Because it's touch, and then you have a button. It's a little bit fickle. You really don't need more than 3 buttons on most robo vacuums, because here, all you can do is just switch between the modes and turn it on or pause. There's not other functions that you can do with this keypad, so for me, it just looks like they try to make something cool with a screen on a robo vacuum. And the Vis Nav comes with a dust particle sensor, and that allows it to produce a heat map for you so you can see where it's really dusty or where it's not so dusty. Now, that's cool, but what I care about most is that, did it pick up the dust? And that's something it doesn't tell me. Just because knowing where the dust is doesn't mean that the robo vacuum cleaned it up, right? Now, number 9. This Dyson comes with massive wheels. These wheels are really big, right? You're gonna say, well, those wheels are so big, it can climb obstacles up to 0.8 inches. It's good, but the Shark Detect Pro does it better. And since it combines it with LiDAR and the ability to pick itself up, the Shark will actually pick itself up and get over the hump. Here, it's not able to do that. What Dyson has decided, or how their system is engineered, is that when it sees or detects those type of obstacles, it merely tries to push itself forward. And because the wheels are more grippy and they're more grooved, you will find that they do get stuck. They'll get stuck in a lot of these air vents for your AC. They'll get stuck on a lot of things that are on your floor that might be having little gaps. So you want to keep that in mind. Areas like that, you have to make them into no-go zones. And finally, number 10. Value. This is a terrible value compared to its peers. It costs at MSRP $1,200. So then you're saying, well, what if I get it on sale, David? What if I get it at $1,000? Still, at $1,000, it's a terrible value. So let me explain why. Because value is relative. If you're getting the Dyson name, yes, these are going to cost you a premium. I have a lot of Dyson products. Like, I love my Dyson V12 Slim here. This is a premium product. It's really liked. It's really cool. I paid $650 for it. That's not great value, but I still like it because it's light and it's the lightest, most powerful small vac I can get for my home right now. However, the Dyson Vis Nav doesn't have that issue. The Dyson Vis Nav has just too much competition. I reviewed so many robo vacuums, and almost the majority of them that have come out in the last year, I would say all of them are better values than this. Why? Let me just give you an example. This is a Lovefon M210. You can see how small it is. It's only 11 inches. But my mom knows how to use it and she can send me an email. So if my mom, who can't send me an email, can use this, this is great for a lot of people. It doesn't come with a brush roll. That's not a problem, because for people who just have hardwood or tile, this is just going to act like a Swiffer sweeping everything inside and not get caught on any of the cords or plugs that might be around your home. There's no brush roll to get tangled into. Next, if you're comparing value, these Shark AI laser navigation units that might be with the Shark Matrix, the Detect Pro, all these Sharks, the most expensive one are going to be in your $400-$500 camp. A majority of them on sale will cost you about $350. They will perform, in my opinion, just as well as your Dyson, and because they have that LiDAR, they'll map faster, they're easy to use. And I've been covering a lot about how iRobot has missed the boat because they had the biggest lead in the robo vacuum game, and all of these other competitors have caught up to them. However, you know who didn't catch up? Dyson. Dyson did not catch up to iRobot. Here is the iRobot J7, here is the S9, we have the J9 Plus, we have the i7, the i5, all with the self-empty bins. They will all do a very good job with vacuuming your home. They might not be as cool, they will bump into many things. And for a lot of people, they're reliable, easy to use, and the app is second to none. And honestly, you could probably get a J7 and an S9 on sale for close to MSRP of the Dyson 360 Vis Nav. You can definitely get a J7 and an M6, or the S9 and an M6, or the J9 and an M6 for less than the Dyson Vis Nav. And finally, if you compare it to the best of the best, your Roborock S8 Ultra Pros, your Dream X30s, your EcoVac X2s, and your iRobot J9 Pluses, and all of these over $1,000 robo vacuums, this is lacking because the Dyson is missing all of the new things that have happened in the last 2 years. Front-facing cameras, LiDAR navigation, AI detection, faster chips, mopping, hot water mopping, hot air drying, pads that can remove themselves, spiraling pads, sonic pads, mop pads, more brush rolls, better algos, and all of those features are things that Dyson is missing. So that's why it's a pretty poor value choice. Dyson did talk about if you use the robot more and more, it's going to get smarter and smarter. And I think that's true. The first time I use it, it got stuck 3 times. The second time I used it, it got stuck 2 times. The third time I used it, it got stuck 1 time. And every other time since, it has got stuck, but only once. So yes, Dyson, it has made an improvement over time. Now let's talk about the performance metrics here. The vacuum's performance is really powered by Dyson's patented hyperdynium motor. And that hyperdynium motor operates at about 110,000 RPM in max mode. So it's going to draw parallels to motor specifications of other earlier units, especially Dyson's, like the Dyson V8. But in overall day-to-day use, having a clean station and just having LiDAR are 2 significant features. You're not going to be able to overcome the substantial benefits of using LiDAR. You're not going to overcome the substantial benefits of having a self-emptying bin, because those do the work for you. Dyson added a lot of things here that are not doing the work for you. They might be cool, they might be gimmicky, they might have beauty to them, but they're not very functional. And I feel that is the biggest issue with the Dyson 360 Vis Nav, is that even though you might think this looks cool, it's just a little bit too big. It's definitely a little bit too heavy. It doesn't come with the same features, and for most people, you'll be very disappointed that it's gonna get stuck on every session. So I met people who say that this will work and it never gets stuck in their home. And I asked them, how's their home laid out? They generally say they have pretty wide open floors, ranch style, not a lot of kids, maybe no wires. These are their homes. For homes that are messier and for homes that have jagged edges, which means you have kitchen cabinets, you have areas that need a side brush, well, the Dyson's not going to be able to clean under there, and you might be disappointed that the Dyson is going to disappoint you. So that was my top 10 reasons why not to buy the Dyson 360 Vis Nav. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below. We will get back to you, and please hit that like or subscribe button because it really does help support our channel. We review a lot of the great Dyson, Tineco, and other brands on our channel, and I always try to give it to them honest and fair. So I like how the Dyson looks like, honestly, but I can't recommend it. I do recommend the Dyson V12 Slim, $600. I love it. It is the lightest, most powerful stick vac I can get for my home that works. But robo vacuums, they either need to remodel, buy another company, or come up with something new and go back to the drawing board. This is not it. So I'll catch you next time. Bye, bye, bye.